from the pettiness they turn on me, but now I am perfectly free to be me. This is who I am, this is who I am now. No matter what they saying, this is who I am, this is who I am now. I'm gonna let them talk, but I ain't following nobody else. How can I be resentful when I finally respect myself? I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness they turn on me, but now I am perfectly free to be me. This is who I am, this is who I am now. No matter what they're saying, this is who I am, this is who I am now.
Couple
Good
months
afternoon. Yes, we are finally live. Sorry for the interwebs and slowing us down a little bit, but we're here, Jen. We're all here.
ago. We made it.
We're all here. Very good. So we've had a
Yeah.
lot going on over the last couple of weeks with, businesses ramping back up, kids going back to school, and the real estate market doesn't take a day off, my friends.
No. I mean, between the election and everything that's been happening, and it feels like it's been chaotic, right? There's just so much going on. And, we're seeing a lot of interest rate news the last couple of days as well, and some stock market news. And it just seems everything seems to be gearing up to just get more and more heated. So it'll be an interesting fall. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. We got, as you said, mortgage rates are dropping. The stock market seems to be on sale the last 2 days, and
Yeah.
we always say this: look for opportunities. And if you want to call this chaos, whatever, look for opportunities in the chaos, right?
Yeah, that's usually where they live, in truth, right? They're usually is when things are most chaotic that something opens up or there's a chance to take advantage of it. So, yeah, always in these moments, take a look around, talk to some people, see what you can do to take advantage of it. And, from a real estate perspective, if you've got sellers on the fence, now's a great time to make that phone call with inventory being as low as it is and rates now going down again. Buyers are out there and options are scarce. So take advantage.
Yeah. Now I haven't done the math on it. And here's what we know: when rates go down, Jen, that all of a sudden that same buyer 3 weeks ago typically has a lot more buying power, right?
Yeah.
So what's that going to do to the market? Like, that's the crazy thing. It's going to fuel the market for even more pricing or valuations,
Yeah. I mean, that's what typically happens when rates drop, right? All of a sudden buyers can stretch a little further and houses start to sell a little faster for a little bit more money. With low inventory on top of that, it creates this perfect storm for sellers of like, if you can get on without any competition, that's a great, and buyers can make their money go further. You have more buyers able to purchase you as an option. And so,
Absolutely.
what does that mean for your bottom line, right?
Absolutely. I want to come back to this conversation, but I don't want to forget rolling the intro. So after the intro, we're going to keep on with this conversation because I have a few questions for Jen, and then we got lots that we're going to go through this afternoon. So here's our intro. That's right. Okay. So Jen, I said I had questions. You're like, uh-oh.
I know. Like,
Uh-oh.
please let this intro take longer than normal.
Yeah, really. And if you're watching with us and you've got questions for us, post them there in the comments. We're happy to answer them
Mhm.
as you know, and anything about the market, what's going on in the market. Here's what I want to know, Jen. If we're trying to generate inventory as realtors because we know that inventory is, not to say it's at an all-time low, but buyers are at an all-time high. Maybe that's kind of, we know that, right?
Yeah.
Because we talked about that at our team meeting last week, saying and looking at the numbers saying, and I mentioned this on one of the market updates I did not too long ago, Jen, we are in a position to have the highest number of sales on Treb ever this year by the end of December. So we can't say listings are down when they're actually up, which means we have more buyers than we've ever had before. So what are we saying to our sellers that even don't want to sell? Like, is there a conversation we can have with sellers that aren't even interested in selling?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is, and I mean, this is probably more of a coaching conversation. However, we talk about your database and knowing where everyone is in your database, what stage of their life they're at, right? So if you're engaged in your database and you're connecting, and you know that somebody just got engaged, got pregnant, had a baby, their kids went to college, they retired, whatever that looks like. Usually when there's a big change like that, there comes a transition. So even though they might not know they're ready yet, if you at least have that discussion or reach out to them and engage and say, hey, congratulations, your last kid just went off to school, freedom, right? Like, you got your house back. What are you going to do? You're empty nesters. And have that relationship conversation and just nurture it. What you start to do is generate a list of possible transactions. And then you can start to talk to them about, well, if you were to move, where would you go? And when you have another client in your database, or someone else in your brokerage does, or there's an exclusive available, or a listing comes up, it's a perfect opportunity to make that call and go, Gary, you're not going to believe it. I know we just talked like a week ago, that house you were telling me about, it just got listed. Or that pool you wanted, I found it for you. And you can start to create momentum, right? Through the right conversations and the right approach. And ultimately, when there's no inventory out there, we have to go find it. And that's one of the most effective ways, because we usually know before they do that they're going to move. We just don't know when they're going to do it, right?
Yeah. And I want to circle back to an incredibly powerful question you asked during that is, if you were to move, where would you go? Right. We often fail to ask that, because now all of a sudden you've given them permission to almost dream out loud. Right. And we typically don't allow people to have that, or encourage people to have that opportunity. So that might be one of the most underrated and underutilized questions that we have in our arsenal, if you will, right? In our quiver.
Yeah, in our quiver. Yeah, absolutely. And it goes back to the four, everyone, not everyone, but most people know the acronym, the FORD, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Those are your engagement or interaction conversations when you're building rapport or growing relationship, and ultimately enhancing relationship. And, when you know someone well enough because they're in your database and you've been nurturing them appropriately, you can kind of jump right to the dreams part. And we're not going to say, what's your dream? Tell me about your dream house. But we are going to ask that question in a way that starts to make them think, well, now that you have an empty house, if you were going to move, where would you go? Right? What's next? What do you want to do next? What's coming after this? What's the next? There's a million ways you can ask the same question, but all you do is you just plant a seed and get that ball rolling. You'd be surprised how quickly that little discussion will transition to a phone call to say, hey, come list me. Or, hey, you know what, in a year, we're going to do this. And then they go into your pipeline and you just keep continuing to move them further. But those tools, they're simple, but they're highly effective when you use them in the right way. Right. And we always say this, and I don't know if we've said it on this show yet, but we say it in coaching. I know you say the same thing too, Gary. When we don't have options, we create them. Right. So figure out how you can create inventory and go and do that. Spend your time there, because that's going to get you more transactions than anything else right now.
Yeah, I love it. And the reality is, not everyone is going to move, right? And we understand that. However, if you've moved into a home within the last, I'll say minimum 2 years, there's a very big chance you've got a tremendous amount of equity in your home. And perhaps that conversation is to your client, explaining what that could mean for them, right? Whether it's investment property and like an investment property, or understanding the leverage, and maybe they're trying to figure out how to update their own home, yet they don't have the means to do so. And if you took the time to explain how to utilize their equity to upgrade their home or update their home, that might be such a valuable conversation that when it comes time to talk about, hey, who's your realtor? How do you become that top of mind person, right? There's always that fun game where you kind of, can I call anyone in your phone and ask them who their realtor is? And if they don't say you, what are we going to do about it, right?
Yeah. And that's on us, right? To maintain those relationships and find ways to create value and engage with our database. And, if you're working your database at a high level and the people there's always business in that world. The stats will indicate that I think it's 15 to 20% of people move every single year, regardless of the market, regardless of the economy, for multiple different reasons. So if you know that and you do the math on your database, how many deals are in your database? And then what are you doing to cultivate those deals so that you make sure you get them? Majority of them. You won't get all of them because inevitably someone's uncle or brother or whoever is going to be a realtor. However, there's always attrition in business. That's fine. But are you maximizing the return on that? And that's before we even get into lead generation, right? That's just working with your sphere and who you know. So I think it's ultimately very important. And another great thing you made me think of was, those people that did buy in the last 2 to 3 years with the market being the way it was, perhaps at the time they didn't have enough equity or enough of an approval rating to buy the dream home or the perfect home that they wanted, and they compromised a little bit. Now that they have a little more equity, or perhaps they are making more money, or things have changed in their world, is it a good time to circle back to that and go, hey, I know you really wanted that pool. Are you still thinking about that? Or I know you really wanted that main floor office that we weren't able to get you. Now we have a little more equity. Did you want to discuss that? Let's talk about it. When we open the door, you just don't know what the result's going to be. As long as you're okay with whatever the outcome is, then you can have a really purposeful conversation, right?
That's golden. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have conversations like this, Jen and I, in a format or a forum like this, to maybe that just gets your mind going and the wheel spinning, if you will, and talk to your colleagues about different opportunities, talk to your friends about, hey, market going up, market going sideways. One of my favorite things to do is just to send the homes that we've sold over the last number of years, just to send those clients a text. Hey, XYZ property around the corner just sold for this. Thought you'd like to know. And that's it. Just leave it like that. Right. And especially if it's an investment property, if they bought something 3-4 years ago and they bought it at 500 and now the average price up there is 750. They probably already know that, but it's good for you to keep reminding them that that, right?
Right. Yeah. And that you're thinking of them, that you're top of mind, that they're top of mind for you. You're still working for them, because that's ultimately what's going to be the reason they say, yeah, Gary's my realtor, right? Because they know it's not just transaction and then nothing. It's kind of ongoing relationship, ongoing value, ongoing service to make sure that you stay in that position. And that's one of the best ways to do it. Just keep them updated on what's happening in their neighborhood, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, like I said, if you've got questions or comments along the way, throw them down there. We'd love to address them. And, there's been lots going on at our brokers, KW Realty Centers, over the last few weeks and months. And, we'd love to talk to you about some of that at the moment. And, Jen, on the other side of the little video here, we're going to talk about our new value propositions.
Yes.
Very good. So our new value propositions, this was something that Colin Campbell and I got to release last Thursday at our team meeting. And if you've been living under a rock, we'll say it like that, over the last few days, it was announced by our founder, Marvin Alexander, that he had sold our brokerage to one of my close friends. And I am so excited for the opportunity that now he has in front of him, Colin Campbell. We're all excited for it because he is somebody that there's not many people that I know, Jen, that are going to outwork a Colin Campbell, right? And
Yeah.
and the fact that I get to call him a close friend, and same as you, we know the amount of work that it took him to get here, and then the amount that energy is just going to ripple into our brokerage. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, in so many ways, it's huge, from the legacy that Marv has left and what he's built for us to grow on, to, Colin's vision and his mindset and just his approach to the leadership role. It's exciting. There's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of changes in a great and positive way. And I'm pumped. I'm excited to see, what the next 6 months to 8 months bring, because I think a lot is going to happen. That's going to hugely benefit the agents and our clients and everything. And I know that's what we're going to talk about a little bit with our value propositions that you guys have been working on. But beyond that, just Colin in general, his mindset around committing to a vision, right? I mean, his goal to buy the brokerage was going to be a lot longer than now. He did it in a lot less time than he initially planned. And, that's what I expect to see happen with most of his other goals as well, because he's just disciplined, right? And that's I mean that in the best way possible. That's such a great feature to have as a leader. So
Absolutely. And over the last several months, he and I got to work on, well, how is this, let's call a spade. I'm buying the brokerage, that gets to benefit Colin. However, what we looked at is, how can we benefit the agents? Because that's really what he wants to have an opportunity to do. And we got to dream, and we got to, understand his vision and kind of create opportunities within our brokerage, how it's going to affect our agents and affect them in many, many different ways, from the time that they get to spend away from real estate, as we like to say, the time that they are spending within real estate, and also what opportunities do they have to grow their own business and grow other people's businesses. Because the fact of the matter is, as you know, Jen, we are in an industry that gets to affect so many different levels of and layers of people's lives and businesses, and that's one that I always love. And this is going to be fun. So we've got 5 things that we launched last week, and over the next number of weeks and months, they'll all be launched within our brokerage. And Jen, let's kind of go through this, and you can ask me more in-depth questions about it. And if I don't know the answer, I'll know the answer. We'll figure it out. What am I trying to say? Yeah. So the first one I love, Jen, is the wealth mastery one. And as we mentioned last week, what we started doing this year more of, and more specifically in the summer, we started talking about how realtors can retire, because a lot of realtors retire with not a lot of retirement or not a lot of savings. And we want to change that conversation, Jen. We want to create, teach agents and realtors how to create a life that they can have outside of real estate or after real estate. And if we can teach our agents that means they get to teach their clients that, whether it's investing into real estate, and we know that there's 1,000 different ways to do that, in the stock market, outside of the stock market, in personal loans and private mortgages, all sorts of different avenues like that. But we know that people aren't going to do it unless we start having that conversation.
Yeah. And I think the bigger thing from an agent perspective to learn about this is, what's that going to look like? How are we getting this information out to the agents, and what's the plan around that, so that they're prepared for it, right? Because it's one thing to say we're going to do it, but what are the action steps, I guess, is my question.
Yeah. And part of those action steps is, once a month we'll host, sometimes it'll be for realtor specific, and other events will be for, we'll call it the general public, everybody, your clients, where we'll host how to analyze an investment property, how to look at investments, how to invest into mortgages, looking at understanding the stock market, and because that's a whole other world in itself as well, right? And getting fine tuned on the stock market as well, and different ways people can invest, and also where do your investment funds come from. So we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about that in our monthly workshops as well, because this is all leading up to, how do we create more for others, right? And that's really what Wealth Mastery is all about. And it'll be presented by people that don't just say it, that are actually doing it, which is important to us. And just something as simple as this too, Jen, about, for the last 3 or 4 years, I've had many friends, Colin included, talking about investing into stock options. And it's a great opportunity, but I don't have the time nor the mental capacity to understand it. And then, a little over probably a year and a half ago, I had the opportunity to take a course. I started to get a better understanding of it. My wife then took that same course, started to get a better understanding of it. So we surrounded ourselves with people that understand it. And now my wife, Michelle, has been able to replace her previous income with the income that she's making in stock options, right? Like there is a tremendous amount of opportunity when you do set your mind to it. And it has given her the opportunity to now stay at home and take care of our kids from that perspective. So we are legitimately creating a lives that we want to have, not the one that we dream of. And that's all what Colin's focus is going to be about over the next several months and years too.
Yeah, I love that you shared that too. It's funny because when you said that, I don't have the mental capacity or the understanding, and that's 100% Dylan and I have that conversation all the time. We know we should be doing it. It's like, okay, who's going to learn? Who's got the time and the energy to learn how to do this right now? And, having that accessible to us in this way. And one of the things you said that I love was that some of it will be open to our databases and things like that, because without having to know the information, what a great way to reach out and provide value to the people that and also engage and interact with them face to face, because that's got the highest conversion as well, as we know, right? So getting that FaceTime at an event that you all have a similar interest in creates more rapport, relationship, and then value. So you're hitting it multiple ways. You're hitting your database and feeding it, and you're in the meantime you're personally benefiting. That's like a win-win-win. That's a full octagon of winning. That's really cool. I love that.
I like it. That's something we should coin, the octagon of winning. I like it. Although I kind of all of a sudden my mind went to MMA, but anyways.
Octagon, yeah. I was going to say
totally different crowd. Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't add up either. So, sometimes we just roll with it, Gary.
That's right. We'll make it ours. The octagon of winning. I like it. And what I love about it too, what would it look like for you and your clients, and how would your clients look at you after they got to come to one of those events, and whether it was Colin or Marvin or myself or another highly trained expert in that field, and you got to invite them into that event we were hosting. I think, as Jen said, that is the win-win-win. And you will now become that area expert in whatever that is, because you invited them to that event, and that's exactly what we're after. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't need to be the one teaching it to create that image for yourself. You just need to present the opportunity, right?
Absolutely. Okay, moving on. I like this part. And this is specifically for Keller Williams Realtors. I love this KWRC Acquisitions. And what we're doing with this value proposition is really taking everything that we've been talking about from the Wealth Mastery and putting it, as I mentioned the other day, into action. And as I've shared here on the stream in the past, I've been able to purchase a number of different investment properties through my partners, and we've talked to how can a group of our agents come together and do the exact same thing, whether it's 5 or 10 of us or more, go out and buy 2, 3, 4 properties together, because we know it's much easier when you do it with other people. It's also much easier, as I learned in the early beginning, it's much easier to do it with people that have already done it before, right? And that have that experience, and you get to leverage it's also, we talk about leverage, and we get to leverage that into buying investment properties together. And this is the one that's going to create not wealth today, but that long-term legacy wealth for tomorrow and for your family, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is your retirement fund right here. Right. That's, and I love that we're doing this as a brokerage because, we all know that first one is always the hardest to get to, right? That's kind of the biggest part of the hurdle. And then from there, it can start to get a little bit easier, get a little bit momentum, a little bit more equity, whatever that looks like, or assets. But having a plan in place where it's just, this is the amount that needs to be applied, and then you get this crazy benefit from it. Nowhere else is really offering that. You don't have the opportunity to do that without getting into a REIT or something like that. And then you have to know, like, it's such a challenging thing, and this makes it so simple. And it's with a group of people and trust, so who we know do this at a high level. So there's limited risk, right? It's a very, very small risk level. And I think there's huge value in that comfort of knowing that they're going to be good decisions, and it's going to be an easy process, and the right people are leading it. So yeah, I've heard people talk about doing this before. This is the first time I've actually seen someone implement it. So I'm really excited for that opportunity.
Yeah, this will be fantastic. I know there are some other brokerages in the States, KW brokerages, that do something like this. There's none that I know of around here. There's not, I can't think of another real estate brokerage around this area, Toronto area, that does something like this. And we will become incredibly strong buyers. I can guarantee you that of how that acquisition is going to come together. And we're going to look for opportunities to, create wealth for others. And imagine, if you're talking to your clients and say, yeah, I own 3, 4, 5 investment properties. That's going to add a tremendous amount of credibility to you and your business, and how you speak with your clients as well. And those are the types of things that we are going to be creating over the next several months.
Yeah. And what's great about that too is even clients that aren't investors or that don't want to invest, it doesn't matter that they're not in that ballpark. What matters is that when you say that, what they hear is that real estate. And that's all you really need them to hear to solidify that you are the person they should be working with, right? So from that perspective, it's a huge tool. And then obviously from the personal gain, it's just so simply like obvious how good that will be as an opportunity. So at least obvious to me. I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
like
not
it.
obvious.
So simply obvious. I like it.
Yeah.
You're coming up with some good ones. I like this. Okay. So
I'm just on fire today.
Yeah. We've got the octagon, the winning octagon. I think
The octagon of winning.
That's
Yeah.
it. I knew I didn't spit it out right.
Yeah. And so simply obvious. I'm killing it.
So here, I got a new video for us to like, Jen. This is what I think of that right there. I think this is going to work.
That's awesome.
I need a sound effect to go with it. How about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Moving on. This one's cool too. So KWRC Lead Accelerator. And this one, we're starting to see tremendous opportunity for our agents in this, and to kind of peel the onion away. Here's what KWRC is going to be doing for their agents. We're going to be working in partnership with our agents and helping them and supporting them. That's right, supporting them in paying for leads. Mm-hmm. That's almost all I need to say.
Yeah. I mean, that sums it up. I was going to say something similar. Even in coaching, we're coaching on how to take advantage of this because it's huge opportunity. And it is very simply that the brokerage is paying for leads. All you have to do is implement a system that's already built and run it.
That's right.
And then that's it.
Yeah, that system's built. We're gonna dive a little bit deeper on how to leverage that system, but that is something we're going to be doing going forward, starting in October to the end of the year, and then we'll run a phase 2 or a step 2 launch program in the new year. But we will be paying in partnership for leads with our agents, which is pretty amazing. And the big part of that is also coaching and mentoring our agents into the follow-up system on what that looks like. And that's why being in Jen's program is incredibly important if you want to take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And what people, I think, the maybe missing part of this is that because of the technology that we have available to us from KW, our dollar per lead goes further than any other lead system. So, that money is going to generate you way more opportunity to convert to payment and to transactions than it would anywhere else, because of the technology and the partnerships we have with Facebook and Google and all that stuff. So, it's already there, it's built, and now it's being paid, the cost is being covered. So all you have to do is the action, and it's actually very simple to do. So don't miss out on that one if you're a part of the brokerage, because it's a huge boost to your business that you won't find anywhere else.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. KWRC Smart Hire is our next one. And if you're an agent that's looking to grow your team or add an admin or anything like that, this is amazing. So some of our agents and me in the past would use the service from Wise Hire. And if you've ever looked into that, posting some of your job openings on Wise Hire, it becomes tremendously, it can be expensive, and upwards of $3,000 to $4,000 a year. And we, as a brokerage, we want to help our agents in finding that talent to join their team, or if you're an individual agent, hiring that next agent or your admin. And we will be providing that service through Smart Hire. We will be leveraging our Wise Hire account, so all of our agents can use it to fill the role that they're looking for, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I'm one of the people that has access to the account, obviously because of my role with the advanced coaching and working with the teams and building out, their admins and even more agents for their team itself. And I can tell you there's applications rolling in daily already for the multiple different job types. We've had director of operations, we've had new agents, we've had agents coming from other brokerages, admins. So we're already starting to kind of collect a little catalog of available or potential good options that you can take advantage of. And then on top of that, if you have a specific role or type you're looking for, we can create that ad for you and then share those applications with you, and you can manage it. So there's multiple ways you can attack it. But the reality is that, we have agents now trying to find recruits or trying to find admins, and they're struggling because it's very difficult to do this on your own. So this is huge for anybody who's looking to build out a team or hire an admin or anything like that, or even to see some of the other opportunities available within the brokerage. If you're thinking that you don't want to be on the sales side, what other options are there, right?
Yeah, I love it. This is going to be so great for those that jump into this. And I actually got an email today from an agent that's looking to transition to the support side. And so Jen and I, we had those conversations a lot, and reach out to us, because this goes right in alignment with Keller Williams Career Visioning, which is a specific course and program that is going to help you hire that next great person on your team, or as KW has coined it, that next wealth builder on your team.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And from the coaching perspective, on any given day, I have multiple people looking for talent. Right now, I have 3 different agents looking for additional support for their team, from a solo agent to larger teams looking to grow their admin team. So if that's something that you're thinking you'd like to learn more about, then let us know, so we know to have those conversations with you and share those opportunities, right?
Perfect. Very good. And I want to make sure it's clear too. Yes, these are agents within KW that reach out to us as well. But for instance, the call or the email I got this morning was not, right. So we can reach in many different ways. So do reach out to us for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Very, very good. Tana's posted a comment here. I forgot how to send my hiring and ad post to you. Make sure you get that done over to Jen. And we're going to be setting up a good system for that with Mary on our site as well. Okay, next one is KWRC Market Intel. Now, some agents love stats. Other agents, whatever. I'm one of those agents that actually can love stats, and I have fun with it because stats do tell a story. And the previous program that we were using was fantastic. And although, as I mentioned at our team meeting, you do have to play within the sandbox that they create, and the walls are really high, and you can't really get creative out of it. And the new service that we're going to be subscribing to, or are subscribing to, will give us market data, as I said, all the way from Windsor to Ottawa up to Tobermory. So that's a huge area. And this is information that we're going to use to help our agents grow their business, help the brokerage, attract the right people and so forth. So this is a really, really good one.
Yeah. And I think this is probably just so necessary in our business because they just make it so hard to get the data. It's crazy. You'd think that we'd have a lot more access to it than we do. And we do locally for sure. But if you want to go broader, or you want to understand bigger markets or bigger trends or even different pockets, we don't have access to that. So this is definitely significant in regard to what we can do with it and the service we can provide our clients based on that. And our agents, like we have agents all over the place, right? We've got like the Terry Hastings team up north, and we've got people downtown and east and west. And so for us, this is necessary as well. But it does allow us to definitely create better opportunity and better understanding of the market for everybody. So I think this was a great acquisition to pick up, because ultimately the short answer is it's necessary, right, to grow for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just rereading Tana's comment here. I forget how to send. So sorry, Tana. We will be creating instructions how to do that, but you can get that information over to Marianne Baldessera at the very least to get that posting posted for you. That was a lot of posted words, but that's how that's what's going to happen is Mary Furnell is going to create a landing page on our MyKW website where you can submit all the information and details, and then that will get posted on your behalf. But that's how that'll look from us on the back end. But very, very good. Well, that does wrap up the KWRC new value propositions. We are excited. Some get to start as quickly as now. Others will roll into those over the next several months. Know that they're coming, and you're going to see much more information and training, and we're going to talk about it more often as well, and talk about it here on our live stream and other places. So do watch out for that. And it doesn't stop there. I don't know if you noticed, but when we had this up the other day, there's at least one more blank spot here, and this is a honeycomb, and we can just keep adding to this, Jen. So It doesn't stop at these 5. That's what I told Colin. Just because we got 5, it doesn't mean we stop.
That's not the total count. And I mean, that's the whole beauty of honeycombs, right? Once you get the first 5, then we grow again, and then we do more and we do more, and they all play into each other, and it just creates more and more creativity, more and more opportunity, more and more services. And, this is very much, I believe, knowing the vision of yourself and Colin and where things are headed. This is just the starting point of what those services are going to look like for our agents. So that's what's most exciting to me about it, is that this is just the start. There's going to be more layered onto this, and I'm excited to see what that is and where everybody goes with it. Right.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. So I thought we'd end off the stream with another little mentoring video that was produced for us, and talk a little bit about mentoring and coaching. And this is, as I clicked the button a little quickly, but that's okay. I cut my own words off, but that's all good. And so here's the video, and then we'll quickly chat about what opportunities our agents have in front of us.
Sounds good.
Mentorship and coaching is so important because if you think about it, our entire lives we have had coaches, teachers, people who help us grow, and it should be absolutely no different with business.
You can almost overdo it at KW. So we have our initial coaching program that you join as a new agent, which is productivity coaching. We also have growth coaching, advanced coaching, and then Keller Williams offers MAPS coaching, international training. So, you could be in training and in class every day of the week if you really wanted to.
And whether their goal is 100 transactions a year, or they're more focused on lifestyle and fueling whatever it is that they're trying to do with their life, we have coaching that is tailored to whatever they need to grow their business.
There you go. Make your move. I like it, Jen.
I always love seeing yourself on video. It's so nice.
I know. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. So talk to us, like our agents, what opportunities do they have for coaching and mentoring? We talk about this often, but I think if we don't keep talking about it, we forget about it, right?
Yeah. And I think sometimes we talk about some more than the other, right? And it's kind of good to acknowledge all of the different levels. And we have a pretty vast coaching program at this point. First of all, we have 4 coaches now, which is awesome. Stevie and Dylan, myself, and Steph. And we offer everything from the PC coaching program, which is productivity coaching. That's for our new agents. So if you're just gotten your license, just finished your Humber courses, that's coaching for your first year to teach you the skills and the structure of being a realtor and building your business so that you build the right foundation and hit your goals faster. Ultimately, that's kind of our job, to get you into production quickly by making sure you're doing the right things, spending your time the right way, studying the appropriate things. And then also, there's homework involved, there's accountability involved, and there's skill tests. You have to write offers, you have to list properties, complete CMAs, so you can practice your skills. Because our main mantra in that program is, don't practice on your clients. We say that pretty much every single day. And so we have systems in place to make sure that that's not what happens. So when you are working with a deal, you know what to do. Your stress level is more manageable. And then we can coach you through the strategy, the negotiations, the process of winning that offer so that you get more deals completed quicker. And you get to benefit from the experience we have versus learning it yourself. And that's just the first level. Then you progress into growth coaching, and growth coaching is for those agents that, you're not brand new. You've done some deals. Maybe your business isn't where you want it to be. You're not kind of producing at the level that you could be, or as we call it, Gary, we're not capping, right? So that coaching program exists for them. And that's mainly a little bit more high level conversation group coaching around marketing, around your skills, and of course, transaction support and basic business support. So then from there, you can grow again. If you're capping and you're producing, but you're struggling with systems or you're struggling with technology or any of that stuff, we have our intermediate coaching program, our advanced coaching program, and then ultimately our team and leadership coaching program. So, we've got people in every different level, depending on where your business and production is at and what you need from the coaches. And our job is to just make sure, and what we focus on, what's important to us is that it's not just business coaching, although that is the main goal. It's business coaching to give you the life that you want. So for some people, they don't want to be a top producer and do 300 deals. They want to be able to run their business effectively, so they work less hours and can have more time at home. For other people, they want to build a big team. Some people want to build a small team. So sitting down and figuring out, first and foremost, what is that goal? What is that vision? Or as we said earlier, if you were to progress to the next level in your business, what would that look like? Tell us about it. And then how do we build it? Because we have the building blocks and we have the tools and we have the accountability and systems, which is where we come in to an extent as well. Of course, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing is ultimately a big part of coaching. But we can also give you the steps and the action plans to get there faster and without having to create it yourself. And ultimately, that allows us to hit our goal, which is to help people create the lives they want. And that's what we focus on. So, depending on where you are in your business, there's something for you. And if there's not, come talk to us, because we can create it, right? That's the beauty of this. We've got the freedom and the flexibility to create something that doesn't always already exist. And we're open to hearing what that might look like, because if you're thinking it, somebody else probably is too, which means there's a need for it, right? So, that would be my summary of what we offer.
Well, I love it, because there's not many brokerages that can say they have in-house coaching and the in-house coaching program is not, it's not something that we just threw together one day. This has taken, years of being creative, also being open, being one of open mind, and following a system that Jen's created that works. And we have many success stories of agents, whether they're brand new, getting into the business and becoming some of our top producers, or what I love, Jen, is when our already top producers go into the system, or that's a bad way to say it. They take you up on your coaching and mentoring programs, and their business gets to grow because of what you're offering them. That, to me, that's the real success story. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts too. Helping them grow their teams, helping them find those admins and those team members. And oftentimes what ends up happening is that somebody in our team coaching is looking for an agent, and someone in our PC or our growth coaching is recognizing that they need to be on a team to have more structure. And then we get to pair them and kind of help facilitate that relationship. And those relationships tend to work better and last longer because they're paired appropriately, right? We do the entire career visioning process. We make sure they're a fit, both personality wise, business wise, and even lifestyle wise, because that's a challenge with a lot of teams and hiring, is that, if you don't know who to look for or what to look for, you can often make the wrong hire. And that can cost you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of money. And same with agents joining teams, right? They join and then realize it's not the right environment. And then they have to start over. And that's not ideal for you getting into production as an agent. So we look at that very, very closely and help the agents make sure on both sides that it's an appropriate fit, and coach them into that, right, as best we can. And ultimately we're getting amazing results from it. And sometimes we find a fit and sometimes we don't. It just depends. But the results end up being way faster and way more efficient. And also we qualify them first, so we know that they're serious and we know what that looks like. So that really creates an opportunity for teams that I don't know that many other places offer, because I'm constantly in connection with, we're coaching about 50% of the brokerage right now. I was saying that at the team meeting, between our brand new agents all the way up to our teams. So when you're in engagement with that many people, all of a sudden you start hearing one person say something and it shows up over here. And then I just kind of put them together, right? Because what we focus on expands, as we know. So it's amazing how often that actually happens, where an agent will call me and say, I'm looking for someone. And then like a week later, an agent will call me and say, I think I should be on a team. I'm like, you know what? I know exactly who you need to talk to, or maybe you need to talk to every team and figure that out. And oftentimes that's the case. Sometimes it's an obvious connection. So, yeah, but that's a huge part of the growth of the teams. And some of the teams I'm coaching started in PC with me. And that's been a really cool journey, right? Because I got to kind of start them as a brand new agent. Now we're building their team and their vision for their future of their business. And I'm a part of that journey. And that's special to me, to kind of be carried along the way, and that they see the value in me being there, and the team being there to support them and their agents as they grow. So yeah, it's a pretty cool system. I'm not going to lie. It's taken a long time to get to this point. But where we're at now is really the stepping stone for tremendous growth, I believe.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. And I'm excited for the people that are within that program or those programs. I'm excited because we get to benefit the ripple effect from it. And just like our value propositions, it's just, those value propositions, our coaching program, like we spend a lot of time developing them, but also we're not afraid to get them into our world, if you will, and make it happen. Because if you just sit there planning and never take action, then what use is that, right? So these are good times. These are good times. Very, very good.
Yeah. And we only know how to make it better by putting it out to the agents and getting their feedback. And that's what we listen to, right? I think we're in the fourth, I don't even know, iteration of what even PC coaching is, from where I started by myself and had 10 agents to now having 4 coaches. And, we're coaching almost 70, 80 agents just within PC and growth. And then on top of that, the additional coaching, right? So that growth has required change. It's required transition, and it's forced us to kind of go, even sometimes when you don't want to hear it, but go and get that feedback and go, okay, what can I do better? How can I make this work for the agents more? How do I reach more people and scale this business, right? So the conversations we're having with our teams, we're also having within our own coaching team to make sure that we're using the same models to grow it effectively, right? And so far, so good.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, I compliment you on being, as agents, but more importantly as leaders in this. We got to ask for feedback, and we got to be able to adapt to that feedback when necessary, so we can make it better. So, and that's what's happening there.
Yeah.
Very, very good. So we've got lots and lots of stuff happening, as you can imagine, at our brokerage, and we would be thrilled to have a conversation with you. I know, and there's so much going on in the real estate industry. So if you are, if you're out there and you have questions about your business or about how you can take your business to the next level, call Jen, call myself. We're happy to have those conversations, whether you are with KWRC or not. Like we truly do want to see everyone succeed in this business, and we got to do so by doing things together like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only way to do it.
That's it. So that wraps up another week of KWRC TV. As I said, we got lots going on, lots of stuff coming in the training calendar. So watch, keep an eye out for that. And I do have some news, Jen. I don't have it in front of me, but we are launching Keller Williams Ignite program in October. So we'll get you the dates for that. And that's an amazing program to launch or relaunch your business, or to get you reconnected with your clients. So talk to Jen if you want more information on that, because that's coming soon. Very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think October 5th, I believe, is the first day. So so let me know if you want to register. I'll get you all set up in that, but absolutely Ignite. And it's the national Ignite again, right? So it's across Canada. And again, you can take it whether you're KW agent or you're not. Just let us know that you'd like to attend, or if you want to know what it is, reach out and we'll certainly have that conversation with you. And if it sounds like it might be a fit for what you need in your business, we'll get you set up.
Very, very good. So for Jen Silbernagel, I'm Gary McGowan. And of course, you can always catch us on your favorite podcast player of choice. We'll see everybody on the next show. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.